Excelsior, true believers, and welcome to episode 52 of Cinema Curse. Tonight, we explore how the mighty Marvel manor was reduced to the mediocre Sony manor in their series of Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies. Who would have thought that doing a series of movies without your main character would be a bad idea? Including their most recent miss, Kraven the Hunter, a movie about a character who's never had his own comic, I'm pretty sure. I am your wicked game master, Connor Lloyd Crews, and today I am joined by Bri Robert.
What's up, guys?
Scott Heaton.
Just a minute, Kraven's almost over.
He's finishing mid Kraven, and Didi Rio.
Hey.
You two should switch reactions because that's what I would have expected from Scott. Scott, you were way too excited for where you're at.
I want to thank Marina Sakamoto and her band Shunkin for the use of their song "Curse" off of the album She Nods EP. She Nods for her intro. You should check out. I got tongue tied there because I was thinking about her new album that's about to come out. That's really good.
Her new track is great. It rips.
I don't want to say too much, but I got to listen to the whole thing already. So,
look at you.
It's been 477 days since the strike-in, and the AMPTP still sucks. I'm gonna drop the manifest bit because I was doing it for a couple episodes, and now I can't figure out what to do. I have a different new bit towards the end of the episode I'm doing. But how's everybody doing?
You know, just continuing our hellscape living.
Yeah, it is a nightmare. Well,
It's the best segue into this nightmare of fiction.
Hey, speaking of nightmares.
Speaking of nightmares,
I made this. Here's a background I made, the Amazing Fantasy 15 cover, but it's introducing no one. I
didn't realize I was muted. Was I muted the whole time?
Yes, you were muted the whole time. But we talked about Man Web last year. I think that one's my favorite of these because it's the one that's like fun in a bad way, or bad in a fun way, or both. We didn't talk about Morbius, but let's talk about, at least it's shorter than Kraven and it has that scene of Matt Smith dancing. But yeah, I mean, like, why did they do these? I mean, okay, I understand why you make the Venom movies. They make sense. Venom has had many of his own comics, many of his own stories. He's been an anti-hero far longer than he's been a villain at this point. I get it. Morbius even, like, has had some comics and stories, I guess. I don't know, but, like, in a period of time when, like, our A-list superheroes can fail at the box office, why? I understand money. I understand the reasons money. But it feels like a gamble.
did this all happen when Marvel got to get the Spider-Man character? Is that when they like launched this whole idea? Because I'm just wondering if maybe the intention was to marry the worlds more. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, I guess.
I do know that the Venom movies were in development, I think, for like a decade. Like, I'm pretty sure a Venom movie has been in development since around the time of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. And so that one, I think, was just always happening. And then I think it's just one of those things where they finally got the money. I don't know. I guess somebody decided, yeah, it'd be a good idea to spend $100 million on a Madam Web movie. Like, oh, I don't know.
I know they were supposed to do Sinister Six too, and that failed. And
Yeah.
I think they've been trying to make their like own Spider Universe since like the Andrew Garfield
Yes.
era, and they just really never had like a clear vision.
Yes.
I think that's all it is between that and money, and like. Did any of them even cost over 100 million? Like, I think they were all made for
Yeah, that's true.
relatively cheap. Like, still probably over like 50 to 70 million dollars, but I don't think like a whole lot was spent on this universe.
I'm curious. Let me actually look this up. I'm curious if I'm guessing the Venom movies have made profit. I wonder if any of the other ones have made any sort of profit.
There's no way.
No, yeah.
Kraven especially.
Kraven's box office is half its budget, which is at 130 million is pretty rough. Let's look at Morbius and Madam Web. Real barn burners. Yeah. Okay. Allegedly, according to Wikipedia, Morbius cost up to 83 million and made 160 million. Which is, when you consider marketing and the fact that they released it twice, that's probably like a net, maybe.
The second net release, the peer pressure of the social. What an era we used to live in. I'll tell you. It feels like it was so long ago. Except with the headlines.
It looks like Madam Web broke even, which is not good for movies of this size. The bigger the movie, the less you want it to break even, I feel like. I guess at a certain point. I don't know. I feel like there's probably like a bar graph there. But I think you're right. I think I remember there being that talk of the Sinister Six movie in the Andrew Garfield stuff, and because there's like,
I'm pretty sure Drew Goddard was supposed to be was like writing and directing that.
Good writer.
And
if that's what I think, no, I'm thinking about somebody else actually. Drew Goddard might be a piece of shit. Who's Drew Goddard? Is he the Cabin in the Woods guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then he is good. Because they have that setup at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. You remember that, Didi?
Yep.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Were you excited when you saw that?
What are we talking about?
The setup at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where there's the Sinister Six.
Yeah. The very ending when they show the Dr. Octopus thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, you see like vulture wings and
Yeah.
And I'm almost. Go ahead.
No, I mean I was just gonna say I think it's cool. I think even if there's no resolution to what's set up, I think it's cool that we get to see the different versions per. If we're talking in multiverse terms. It's cool to see the Andrew Doc Ock. It's cool to see the Toby Doc Ock. Even if we don't see it. Yeah. But that's just me being too optimistic.
We saw the arms at least.
Right.
We did not see the Doctor. We
did not see the Doc Ock. We saw the what would be the shell of.
Yeah. I mean I don't disagree. Like. That can be cool in its own way. Well, it's more so just like, I think that is the line, because I'm pretty sure Venom was probably in development from the mid 2000s, and then I'm guessing Sinister Six got picked up when they moved on to the Andrew Garfield ones.
Yeah,
and then those failed, and so they were like, oh well, fuck. I guess we'll see if like Marvel Main can like help us make a Spider-Man movie that people like are excited about again. But then they were just like, but then they just did all these other. I guess what's really crazy is post No Way Home. Why haven't they like decided to make Andrew Garfield the like Spider-Man for that universe or something?
I don't think I would think that'd be a good idea, but I also don't think there's been like a successful enough like anchor to bring him back.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think it would have been a better idea at least than what they did to him, which is nothing. No one.
Is it true that there's still like there's rumors of us seeing Venom again, right? That's
Yes. Well, let's switch to talk about the Venom trilogy, because
okay.
I have slightly more positive things to say about the Venom movies.
Me too.
Here's my good background.
Okay, cool. Now we can know what we're talking about.
Now we
with
know
the
what we're
background.
talking about. Well, it helps me on YouTube figure out where the chapters should be,
Oh, I see.
and it gives a little visual flair. But yeah, these grew on me. I didn't really like the first one, which I saw in theaters. I think I was too caught up on my understanding of how the characters worked. But watching 2 and 3, both kind of drunk, I was like, oh, I like silly, goofy Venom. And yeah, they definitely grew on me. I feel like I probably ended up liking each one a little more than the last. And Venom 3, there's like a couple of scenes I actually like. I liked there's a runner with shoes they keep doing that made me laugh a couple times, and there's like one really good sequence like between like some people in a van towards the end of the movie, where Eddie Brock is talking to this like hippie family that's out, because a lot of the movie is centered on Area 51, and they're sort of out in Area 51 looking for the aliens. And
David Bowie.
yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, it's good. That's how I feel about the Venom movies too. It goes from 1 to 3 on my, 3 to 1 on my liking scale. But 3 is my favorite.
Yeah, it was
that's
fun.
interesting, because that's not usually the way it goes with a franchise.
We could have just. It could be that we just got beaten down into submission. You know what I mean? I feel like that's at least part of my thing. But I think also it just like. I think each of the movies kind of gets more of the bullshit out of the way, and like the third one is like the one that I felt had the most just like the stuff you want from this version of Venom, which, because this version of Venom is like quite a bit goofier and sillier than how he is in the comics. I'm okay with that, because I really don't give a fuck. And it really grew on me, and I feel like the third one they kind of like finally figured it out, which sucks because it's the last one. And to be fair, there's still like, it's not like a great movie or anything. It's for context. Let me look at my 81 movies I've watched on 2024. Where do I have it? 56. So,
So bottom half.
Bottom half, but towards the top of the bottom half.
Did it become alphabetical at that point, or
No. It's a vibe thing. I just like do it. I just like put it on, and every once in a while, whenever I put a new one on, I'll scroll through and I'll be like, that doesn't look right, and I'll like reverse to, and I just live with it. I don't overthink it. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, I just kind of go with what like my gut feels. It's in the section which is like movies that I think are solid and good, and that if you're interested in seeing them, you should see. But if you're not, they're not good enough to warrant checking out, anyways.
Sure.
I think that's a good that's a good description of the Venom movies. They're good. They're solid. They're not great. If you would like to see the Venom movies, you should watch them. If you don't, I don't think they're good enough to compel me to be like, yo, you gotta see this,
You don't understand.
Yeah. Croc in the chat says Didi was a good Peter Parker, but not a great Spider-Man.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Who is this guy? Who's saying that?
But it's also interesting because I will say the one thing, my least favorite thing about Venom 3 is the way that it sets up a big villain and then doesn't even get to him.
Well, back on the rumors, I heard that Venom in rumor, and then the villain is rumored to return in Spider-Man 4. I don't know how accurate.
I have heard that they're gonna strike while the iron's before Marvel wraps up the multiverse stuff as quick as they can, because everyone hates it. It does sound like Spider-Man 4 is going to be another team-up movie with Toby and Andrew, but this time also Tom Hardy and Venom and Null, who's kind of set up as this big bad in Venom 3, and then at the end of the movie we see his face. I guess he's like Venom's Thanos or something, I don't know. Voiced by Andy Serkis, so that's nice at least. Yeah.
So wait, who's this? I only saw the first Venom movie, which I didn't care for. My biggest problem with the first one is that it felt like there's no second act. I remember, like he was Venom, he didn't like it, and suddenly they worked together fine, and there was no real like learning to become Venom.
There's a lot more of like them living together in 2 and 3, but Null is a bad. They don't really introduce him in the movies until the third one. But he's like the god of he's like the symbiote god. And he's like he looks like fucking like Sephiroth or whatever from Final Fantasy or something, or like Alucard or Dracula or whatever from fucking the Castlevania series. Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I would rather them if they're gonna do another multiverse live action Spider-Man movie, do it now and then let him like have that status quo and develop, as opposed to like doing a couple street level smaller movies and then having to do another multiverse movie. You know what I mean? I do think it's, and also like I said, I'm pretty sure they're trying to like zip the bag on the multiverse as fucking fast as possible at this point. They're like fast tracking.
Makes me sad. You know what? I'm in the minority here, but I like it. I like the multiverse stuff.
I do too. I'm bummed out the way that they're pivoting, because they're chickening. They're basically are decided they're playing chicken now with the audience. But I don't know. I'll tell you, the one thing I didn't like about Venom 3 is the same thing I didn't like about Deadpool and Wolverine, where they shit on the multiverse. There's a line in Venom 3 when they're falling through the universe where Venom goes, he's like, I'm done with this multiverse shit. I don't like that. I want him to stand by. I think it's I don't know. Yeah, at least in Deadpool it kind of, I mean that one makes a little more sense.
Sure. Well, they did go into a different universe, kind of, in like the end of Venom 2 and the end of No Way Home. They pop up, like a little multiverse shenanigans. So, I guess that's the precedent where that's why they can say multiverse shit. They go to different dimensions in the third one.
It's like that. That's how it starts. Where No Way Home ended, where they're in the MCU, and then they hop over in the beginning, and then
we see like a little bit of, I think, the scene, or we don't see this. It's basically he's back, and it's the bartender, but he looks slightly different from that post-credit scene in No Way Home, and he's like freaking out on the bartender because of what just happened. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then he hilariously forces Eddie to make a margarita or something behind the bar. Venom does. Venom's he does a lot of cooking and making drinks and food in 2 and 3. I'll say that.
All right.
And he eats like fucking Buddy the Elf in 2.
It sounds like Perfect Strangers, like the setup for like a 90s sitcom on Friday night.
I think that's why I liked 2 and 3 more, is because they lean more into that for sure. Whereas I feel like the first one, I remember him just being kind of like goofy and being like, that's weird. But Croc asks, is Toby going to be in Spider-Man 4 and Secret Wars, or just Secret Wars? And the answer is, I don't know. And I wish you would quit asking me.
Like O'Connor was the point of reference for that question.
Let's move on to talk about a movie, Kraven the Hunter, starring the guy who played Quicksilver. Scott, do you want to give a summary of Kraven the Hunter? Considering it's really fresh.
Yeah.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah.
The summary is a guy named Sergei is part of a Russian mob family. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He gets hunter blood from mystical like a woman, and
It's kind of like Black Panther for white people.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good yeah. And now he hunts criminals, but he gets drawn back in to the family business in the movie.
My friend, my very dear friend Celeste, watched this movie over the last 2 weeks. Not one, not two, but 3 times, because she is an insane person whose twisted logic eludes even me.
Wait, Celeste watches 3 times?
Yes.
How isn't she here right now? I need to know about this.
Because she refuses. She's like, I don't do podcasts. I'm not into that kind of publicity.
Right, I get it.
And she watched it the first time with me, because we watch movies every once in a while, and I knew I had to watch it, and we had talked about watching this like when I was in Texas last year, at the end of the year, and I decided not to. And so she was like being very gracious. But then she watched it a second time with her sister. She was like, well, my sister's got to see this, because I guess the sister wanted to see it, but I don't know why April wanted to see it. And then Celeste watched it a third time, I guess by herself, which is the saddest of all. I think she just did it for the Vine. I think one she just did it as like a bit. I will say, like, when she told me, because I remember hearing that she watched it a second time, and I was like, okay, well, you watched it with April, that like kind of makes sense, I guess. But then the third time, it was like when in a serial killer, like a cop movie, when like the detective opens the door and they see the body all chopped up.
Yeah.
And they can understand on a practical level, like, oh, there's a foot, there's a hand. She watched the movie 3 times. But on like an emotional, psychological level,
right,
it's kind of hard to grasp.
Did she enjoy it?
I don't think so. I mean, I think
she. What did she say to you after?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I try to, like, I was trying. I think she's just trolling me, maybe specifically by doing it. But that's
a lot of effort though. To
troll me.
What did you do to this woman?
I've done nothing to her. She's the Joker. She's my Joker. I mean, for me, it's easily my least favorite Sony, because the Venom movies have something. Madam Web is hilarious, and Morbius is 20 minutes shorter. That's
Kraven's biggest problem.
Yes.
That runtime. I mean, like, because I literally, if it was 90, even under 100, I would have been like, okay, I can do this, fine. As soon as I saw that was 2 hours and 7 or something.
Yeah, 206.
27. Yeah, or something. Yeah, I was out immediately from that.
Yeah, it's and there's so much. Didi went into darkness. I mean, what did you think, Scott? Would you agree with me that it's?
Yeah, for 2 hours, like, nothing happens in this movie. Like, the first hour is just sort of like the origin story, which is not that interesting.
No,
like,
it really
could have taken 5 minutes. It could have happened to Aaron Johnson, not him as like a child. Mm-hmm. It could have just been like, a 5-minute thing. Now he has hunter powers or something, and then it could have been 90 minutes, because like the story, like, even like then when the Rhino shows up and it's his plan, like, it's not that personal, and there's not enough like movie so that like these two villains mean anything to each other. Because I know at the end, when he's the full Rhino and he like rips open the top of the car and he's like, it's like these guys just don't. That it meant nothing, because there was not enough drama to lead to that moment.
Rhino was more mad at Kraven's dad, honestly. Like, he should have been attacking his dad. My favorite moment in the movie is that weird fucking noise the Rhino makes in that one scene where he gets stressed out and he just goes like, at least this one does give us a lot of villains, and the suits don't look particularly good, but they are in suits that kind of look like, versions of the characters.
I thought like the biggest problem with this one compared to the other ones is it was made competently enough that it was just like bad. Like almost like if it had been just a little bit better, it would have been like a whatever bad movie. But instead, it's like, oh, this is just like nothing.
Yeah,
Like-
I agree. There's only a handful of like the things I have I don't really have that much written down. I mean, I've already said most of it, but like I remember the titles at the beginning were really shitty, like Madam Web, and I had like an audible like reaction to them. And you know, there's a couple of lines like when Russell Crowe, who's the dad, is like, "I'm teaching my sons the joys of stalking." I don't know. I'm kind of doing his voice like Count Orlok, but whatever. And then I also liked that one lady's grandma being like, "In the name of all the spirits and all the mysteries," while she did that magical thing. You know, and I really like the Chameleon. I think he's a really underrated Spider-Man villain. I think they should use him in a movie, like for real.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's done super well here, but you know, I like that they do him, and I kind of like I like that he becomes like a singer who he's just singing, and it's like the actual songs, because the idea is that he's like so good at impersonating people.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of fun.
Is the idea that he took the rhino juice, and that's why he looks like that at the end?
I think so. I think that's the idea. Okay. He's like a physical chameleon, because in the comics, it's more like he has like tech and stuff, and natural abilities, which I'm fine. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. No, I didn't care about like that big of a difference. I wanted to ask you, in the version you saw, did all the Russian have subtitles?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, for some reason, the version you sent me did not come with subtitles.
Oh, I forgot about that. I should have told you. So I watched that version, but we got a subtitle file for it. I should have told you. I should have.
Oh, he did the VLC. It's a sidecar file. Yeah.
Because me and Celeste were watching. Because this happens all the time. You know, we'll be watching something, and we'll be like. Because, like, sometimes there will be a scene in another language, and you'll just be like, what? Like, we're clearly, like, it doesn't matter. But then you get to a scene. I will say, like, there was, like, a scene, like, the second scene of the movie, I was kind of like, I think we need these fucking subtitles.
Yeah.
That's exactly where, at first I was like, okay, they're just speaking Russian. But then, like, it got enough. I was like, oh, no, this is, like, dialogue. I will say I didn't think it was anything that important.
No, not really.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything, but I was curious about that.
I will say this. Well, so one, I don't understand why they saddle Aaron Taylor Johnson with such a generic, shitty American accent. Especially because I literally just watched The Fall Guy also, and he does a douchebag American accent in that one, like pretty good. Like he's like his voice sounds good in that one, and he also has a British accent, and he's like naturally, and the character like lives in Britain, so I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Every time the characters talk in a conversation, it comes to a screeching halt. And part of this is because, like, there's this scene early on when him and Calypso, I think is the character's name. She's like Kraven's love interest character. They talk on a bench, and they have like a 4-minute long conversation. And they literally just sit on the fucking bench the entire time and just like back and forth.
Like a Forrest Gump chat.
Like a Forrest Gump chat. It's like, if you're going to do this, have a character. Like, do they not understand what blocking is? Like, have a character stand up in the middle and turn around. Do you know what I mean? Like, these, like, Law and Order does, like, you know, like, you need business. Like, they're just, like, sitting there. It's like fucking Dinner with Andre, but I think even that one, like, they're actually doing stuff. They're eating. There's a lot of wandering around the woods also, which is never a good sign in a movie. And it really does kind of fall apart as it goes. Because at least the origin kind of gives it, like, a structure, as boring as it is. And then once stuff happens, it's kind of like, this guy who's mad at his dad is mad at him or something, and killing
he
someone.
Kidnaps his brother, and then Kraven has to save him.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
it.
Are
we talking about Osgood Perkins?
And like, he's barely anti-hero. It's, you know what I mean? Like, he's
basically just a good guy.
I mean, sort of, but even that, like, it's just like he's just protecting his brother. Like, yeah, I don't know, like, and I don't know what they. Were we supposed to be excited to see this character again? You know, or any of these characters?
I don't know. I know he sees a bunch of spiders in the forest for for reasons. Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. There's nothing to say. I would literally recommend that someone watch all 5 of the other Sony movies before getting to this one. If you're thinking about watching Kraven the Hunter, watch one of the other ones you haven't seen yet. I like it's freaking boring. Like I said that thing about 56 or whatever for Venom. Kraven is out of 81 is at 78. So below it is speaking of Spider-Verse movies, but for the same reason I just thought it was boring but is immaculate, that Sidney Sweeney movie, and then the 2 below that are just the Megalopolis and fucking Strange Darling, which are just movies that like actively annoyed me. You know, Kraven is there just because it's boring.
Yeah.
Like didn't even try to make me mad.
I've almost already forgotten it, having like literally just seen it.
This conversation has exorcised it from your body.
Yeah, maybe that's Celeste. Maybe there was a deal like that guy who would like make people, hypnotize people. She'd just forget it as soon as it was over. It just slipped out.
Her second and third watches were for Bri and Didi. So that way they didn't have to watch it. But Scott, you thankfully fulfilled your part of the bargain. The indecent proposal to watch Kraven the Hunter for free.
Yes. And I still feel a little ripped off. I gotta be honest.
But yeah, the future.
Wow.
Madam Web 2. I found a lot of AI images, but I found this one good old fashioned Photoshop. Madam, I like the Marvel Studios. I like this picture of Sydney Sweeney at like a premiere, looking like way hotter than the way they stylized her character in the movie.
Yeah.
And then I like the Disney Plus logo up here.
Coming straight to Disney Plus.
Coming straight in.
But yeah, I mean, I think they should
of all the movies, I would watch a Madam Web 2. Like that'd be the one.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, I'm looking at what they have. At some point, they were gonna do. I remember they were gonna do like a fucking Aunt May movie at some point.
Wow. I'd love to know, like,
what would that be?
Yeah. Like you can multiverse the shit out of that with every anime you can have. And still like, what are we doing?
It was like a spy movie. It was about like the version of her. Well, no, that's Peter's real parents, not Aunt May. So I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't even know, actually.
Oh, right. We were talking about this world.
There's some other stuff. There's like a spy El Muerto, that Bad Bunny one, Hypno Hustler that has Donald Glover attached. I don't know who the fuck is this character. Who's Hypno Hustler?
Like a SoundCloud rapper. He's just like, I want a deal. That's part of the shit.
Yeah, I think the only thing I think they should stick to the animation, or actually introduce a Spider-Man. I will say they do have one other live action project in development, shooting right now, and I am excited for it, which is Spider Noir, starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that, but the thing is, it has Spider-Man
in it.
Yeah. Weird, right?
That helps.
It helps. It helps having your main character in the movie to make people excited about the thing.
You know what? I will say,
and it's a deserved spinoff because we like that character and we'd like to see more.
I don't think it would have been impossible to make these movies,
oh, for sure,
fun.
Yeah.
without Spider-Man. Like, I think as the movie they were looking at as their like guiding star was Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think they thought like, oh, you could take like C-list characters and just make a movie. People will show up. People will love it. It'll make millions of dollars. But like that came when Marvel was definitely at its peak, like where like the Marvel name meant something. So like they were putting all their chips in that name meaning something.
Yeah.
Plus they had James Gunn, who is
really
just
good,
is a really good writer director and made a really good movie. These movies had no vision other than like just corporate. You know, you kept asking why besides money, but like honestly, that's it. It was just a corporate decision.
I love that one dude he was blaming all the critics for everything. All that big exec Sony dude who just blamed everybody. He's a critics what ruined these movies. That tells you everything about the franchise.
I think you can tell that like the fucking the Venom ones actually work a little better because they have kind of a steward in Tom Hardy. And I don't think that these had that. You know, Tom Hardy clearly really likes playing this character and likes doing it. And so, you know, I don't think Dakota Johnson or Aaron Taylor Johnson, are they related? And Jared Leto were like, hell yeah, finally.
Yeah. And I have a vision of what I want Morbius to be.
Tom Hardy is kind of like, you know, he's not as it's not as intense of a relationship, but it's like similar to like Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, where there's like an element of like this guy clearly cares about this and like wants to do it, and it gives it something. So I would be cool seeing more of him. I think it'd be cool to do him in a do Spider-Man 4.
I hope Dakota Johnson is like the Secret Wars. Like she is the catalyst. She's like Captain Marvel.
She's
just
the
like
main character. Yeah.
Everybody like that would be the best like thing to happen to the whole Marvel.
It'd be funny
universe.
if it just became about like Morbius and Kraven or something.
Yeah, totally. We have a whole like act in just their world. What
do you think, Didi? What do you think they should do?
Well, I think just keep making movies.
Hell yeah.
You know what?
I
like at the end of the day, just keep on making movies, guys. You'll get it right eventually.
I think part of the reason that they thought that the Sonyverse, I think part of the reason the Sonyverse kept going is because they were like, I think they thought they could like profit off of the maybe Spider-Man's in the movie kind of thing, like maybe he's in the movie, so they're gonna go see it, And I think in a sense, I think that's like the only reason why they sold any of the tickets. But I'm glad they did it. I don't regret it because we got Venom out of that, and that's all I care about. I like Venom, so I can work with that.
He's an LGBTQ icon, so he's a queer icon. I mean that literally is like a big sequence in the second one where he goes to like some club or something.
Really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's where that background came from, where it was Venom with the current whatever the most updated version of the rainbow flag is.
I gotta watch the second one again. I don't remember.
That's funny.
Yeah, but well, let me enter all of this information into the computer. I'm sorry to tell everybody, but they've greenlit Madam Web 2 and Morbius 2 and Kraven the Hunter 2 and Venom 4.
Man.
So it's I guess to pick up our spirits, we'll have to play a little of Connor's Wicked Games.
Wow.
Sponsored by Chris Isaac. Every week, like Jigsaw, I like to play a little game. This week I'm bringing back one of my favorite formats for 2 Marvels and a lie. I'm going to read off 3 things, nouns, names, locations, objects, concepts, etc. 2 are from the world of Marvel Comics as created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and more. The other one will not be. For 1 point, guess which one isn't Marvel. For 2 more points, say what other fictional universe that not Marvel thing is from. There are 2 catches, but let's play around before I introduce the 2 catches. So we'll start with Bri because
Scott's just like, fuck this
Scott's
game.
left the room.
He's playing his own wicked game right now.
I'm still here.
Bri, these are all metals. So A, adamantium, B, mithril, or C, vibranium.
I would say B.
And do you have a guess of what that's from?
What? Say it one more time.
Mithril.
Nah.
All right, Didi.
I'm guessing where it's what universe?
You're guessing which one isn't from Marvel. A, adamantium, B, mithril, C, vibranium.
The mithril.
And then for 2 more points, you can guess what universe it's from.
I've never heard of that before.
Scott?
Mithril is not part of Marvel. I believe it's part of Lord of the Rings.
That is correct.
Well, I mean, yay.
Yeah. And the 2 catches that are going to be coming up, at least one of these is all Marvel. So you have to guess, oops, all Marvel. And that's going to get you 3 points if you guess that one. Also, at least one of these, the third not Marvel thing, is from my brain, which gets you an extra 1 point because I think it'll be hard to guess. Didi, this one we're going to start with you. These are weird cosmic energy dimensional things. A, negative zone, B, punch dimension, or C, speed force.
I think punch dimension is from your brain.
Okay. Scott?
And then
Speed force, and I believe that has to do with the Flash.
Bri?
I believe Scott's correct.
Yeah, Scott is correct. I'm sorry, Didi. Punch dimension is the dimension of energy where Scott's laser beams, Cyclops' laser beams come from. Not this one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, my laser beams come from a different dimension.
Forgot about that. All right.
Yeah, his power isn't that he stores energy and converts it. It's that his eyes are portals to the punch dimension, which is an energy of a dimension of pure punch energy.
Pure punching.
Scott, Genosha, Madripoor, or Savage Land. These are locales. A, Genosha, B, Madripoor, C, Savage Land.
Madripoor.
Bri?
I don't know where it's from.
I'm gonna side with Scott and say Madripoor, but I also have no idea.
Didi?
Again, so I'm saying what's not in the Marvel
Which
universe?
one's not from Marvel? But like I said, they could be all Marvel as a trick.
Well, Madripoor is. What were the other ones?
Genosha and Savage Land.
Savage Land? I'm gonna say Savage Land is not a part of Marvel.
Well, congratulations, everyone. You're all wrong. Those are all Marvel. Savage Land is the place where all the dinosaurs live. That the X-Men go to sometimes. Next up, Bri, this will start with you. Madripoor is like the that's like the criminal society. I think it's like a criminal little country that exists somewhere like in the southern hemisphere. I know that's where Wolverine was like Patches or whatever, and had like the eye patch and was like a something or other. Anyways, Bri, these are planets. A, Mustafar, B, Clintar, or C, Vormir.
That first one with Mustafar, you said?
Mustafar, yeah.
I feel like that's Star Wars shit.
Didi?
Yeah, that's where Darth Vader dies, or I mean, where he grows a leg or gets his leg cut off.
Scott?
Can I hear them again?
A, Mustafar, B, Clintar, C, Vormir.
I'll go with everyone else. Yeah, the first one is from Star Wars.
It's correct. Clintar is the symbiote
Thank God.
planet. Vormir is the soul gem planet. Didi, this one's for you.
Just out of curiosity, how does this work for the scoring? Since everyone kind of got on my bandwagon channel over here. Yeah.
That's why we rotate.
I don't win very often, so I'm just trying to get all the points I can.
Didi, these are all prisons. The Raft. What?
You can go ahead.
A, the Raft. B, Butcher Bay. Or C, Ravencroft.
Oh my god! Well, I know the Raft is in the MCU.
It's also in the comics, maybe if it is.
Ravencroft is in the MCU. I'm going to say the other one. I don't know what it's called. The other one.
Butcher Bay. Any guesses where it's from?
Butcher Bay. Your brain or Harry Potter?
You can only guess one.
Okay. Your brain.
Scott?
Can I hear him again?
A, the Raft. B, Butcher Bay. C, Ravencroft.
Butcher Bay, yeah. Yeah, why not? Your brain.
And Bri?
Butcher Bay, Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Everyone is correct that it is Butcher Bay. That is from the Chronicles of Riddick franchise. Yeah,
I'd never have guessed that.
there's actually the best part of the Chronicles of Riddick franchise is an incredible video game called Escape from Butcher Bay.
Oh, okay. I remember that game.
Scott, these are companies. A, Alchemax. B, Tyrell Corporation. Or C, Roxxon Energy Corporation.
Sorry, I have a dog here.
Indiana.
Okay. Was Tyrell Roxxon? What was the third one?
Roxxon.
Sorry. What? Let me hear all three again.
I'm just gonna say the proper names, not the accessories.
Yeah.
Alchemex, Tyrell, Roxxon.
Ugh. I know Roxxon definitely is. I'm gonna say Oops All Marvel.
Bri?
Tyrell, Alien.
Fuck.
Didi?
Roxxon's Marvel. What are the other ones?
Alchemex and Tyrell.
Tyrell is not from Marvel.
Okay. Any guesses where it's from?
Can I pass on guessing where it's from?
Yes, you can. It is in fact Tyrell Corporation. Well, I'm going to give you Alien because technically it's from the Blade Runner movie, but those Alien they share the same universe technically. So I'm gonna give it to you. And so,
it's funny. I think my brain immediately did think Blade Runner verse, and then wasn't there one that had a something Tyrell with it?
Maybe
in the Alien world, or
it's
possible.
possible.
I just feel like but yeah, no, I know totally with Blade Runner for sure.
Bri, these are magical items. A, the Mirror of Erised. B, the Wand of Watum. Or C, the Eye of Agamotto.
What's that second one? The Wand of Watum?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I think that, and I think it's your creation.
Didi?
The wand is not from Marvel, I don't think.
Scott?
Can you hear me again?
The Mirror of Erised, the Wand of Watum, the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, I'll say the Wand of Watum, but I'm not sure where it's from.
Well, congratulations, everyone. You're all wrong. The Wand of Watum is also owned by Doctor Strange. I think everyone recognized Eye of Agamotto. That's his little necklace. The Mirror Erised is where Harry Potter goes to look and be sad about his parents.
Okay.
I thought Thor would be walking through that shit or something,
Yeah, DD. These are
Somebody would use it.
alien races. A, Shi'ar. B, Kotati. Or C, Gerbil.
There's no way Gerbil is in Marvel. I'm going to have to say Gerbil.
Okay. Any guesses where it's from?
No.
Scott?
Yeah, Gerbil doesn't sound right, but I'm not sure where it's from.
Bri?
What's the second one you said?
Kotati.
No, Kotati sounds probably Marvel or something. I'll go with everybody else. No.
Okay. Yep, Gerbil is in fact not from Marvel. It's from my brain. Scott, these are vehicles.
Okay.
A, Blackbird, B, Scuttlebutt, or C, Thanos Copter.
Which should have been in the movie.
Yeah. It's in
Yeah.
Loki.
I will say the
Scuttlebutt? Or what'd you say?
from
Okay.
Scuttlebutt.
Right.
So we're saying one that just does not exist, or they're all one option is they're all Marvel, right?
Yeah.
All right, they're all Marvel.
Didi?
The Scuttle thing. Not from Marvel.
Bri, that's 3 points. Those are all Marvel. Thanos Copter, we can probably guess Blackbird's the X-Men, and the Scuttlebutt is Beta Ray Bill's vehicle. Oh, Didi left.
That's right. Yeah. Again, it's this animated series. So much of my Marvel knowledge comes from watching a bunch of the Spider-Man and all those like animated.
Didi, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me message him. But we got this one's gonna start with you, Bri. Either way. Where'd you go? These are also metals. I have two of these that are just different types of metals. Oh, his computer died. It'll be here in a second. A, carbonandium, B, uru, or C, duranium.
What's the second one again?
Uru. U-R-U. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's ooh metal.
You just took it across like multi places. And the third one again, I'm sorry?
Duranium.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the second one, that little thing.
Didi, you're muted.
Sorry about that. My computer died.
That's okay. Well, we're almost done with this game. We only got a couple more rounds. These are metals. Right. A, carbonandium, B, uru, or C, duranium.
I'm going to go... What was the last one?
Duranium.
I'm going to go geranium.
And do you think you have any guesses where it's from?
No, I don't know. DreamWorks?
Scott?
Can I hear him again?
A, carbonadium, B, uru, or C, duranium. That's the last time I'm saying them.
Ooh.
I don't know how Didi did it, but duranium is correct. That is a Star Trek metal. That's like what they make all their ships out of. Carbonadium is Omega Red's metal. That's also what Deadpool's swords are made of. And uru is what like Mjolnir and Stormbreaker and like the Asgardians use.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Didi, we're gonna start with you on this one. These are proper names.
All right.
A, Blackagar Boltagon, B, Crystalia Amaquelon, or C, Javico Carino.
And what are these?
Names.
Names.
Of people.
First one is Black Bolt. Second one... I'm going to go with the second one, I think.
Scott?
Third one.
And Bri?
This is tough. Now I got to pick which one am I going to go with here. Which one of you guys know comics stuff?
Oh, I absolutely guessed. I should like.
Did you?
I went with that because I want to do a different one than what
Okay.
he went with. You should know. There's no like foresight into that.
All right, I'm going to go with what Didi said.
You should have gone with Scott because he was right.
I'm sorry.
It's Javico Carino. Javico Carino is a Dune character. Those first two were Black Bolt and Crystal of the Inhumans' real names.
Okay.
Scott, these are types of particles. A, Pym particles. B, Richards particles. Or C, Parker particles.
I'll say. How many are Oops All Marvel, or is that out of the gate? Like,
No, you can do it. Yeah.
I guess I'll try Oops All Marvel.
Bri?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Scott this time.
Didi?
I'm gonna go with what they said.
Well, you were tricked. This was my most devious trick yet. Why Pym particles and Parker particles are real, Richards particles are from my brain.
Shit. I would have got that right anyways. I'd never heard of Parker particles.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
See, I would have
assumed
guessed
Richard
that-
particles existed.
I would have guessed that it was from your brain if they were called Connor particles.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like I named them after a different, very smart Marvel character as a trick. I will say,
yeah.
I looked up when figuring that one out. I looked up, and Stark particles are also a thing because that was my first idea is Stark particles, and then it was like, oh, that's a real thing too. And this is the last one, Bri. These are groups of people: A, Black Moon Club; B, Magia; or C, the Morlocks.
These are Marvel things.
Yeah, two of them are, or maybe all of them are.
What's the second one, sir?
Magia, Maggia. Might be Magia. I don't know how to pronounce this, really, to be honest.
I'm going to say that one. I don't know what it would be from, but so no.
Didi
All of them. They're all Marvel.
and Scott.
I'll say all Marvel.
Well, Magia and Morlocks are from Marvel, but the Black Moon Club is from Sailor Moon.
That's the one that threw me off. I should have gone for that one. That's what I thought.
Magia is the name they give to the Mafia because I think when they first wanted to do the Mafia in the comics, this was like back in the 60s and 70s, and they were all writing and making these comic books in New York, and they were like, let's maybe give them a fictional name and make them even more fictionalized because they were a little scared of them. But
that's funny.
I was close.
Didi, bronze medal. Scott, silver. Bri, that's another gold medal for you.
Damn, Bri.
Throw that in the pile, you know.
You've done it again.
Congrats, man.
I'm trying to Scrooge McDuck this whole game, you know. Throw me in.
I know you have your segment, Scott, but before you do that, I want to do a very short Dune date. I finally got to the Space Jews.
Hey everyone, welcome to Scott's Comic Corner.
That's perfect.
Wow.
Hit the bumper and everything.
What a great segue. Welcome to Scott's Comic Corner, brought to you by Eric Clapton and Russell Crowe's dialogue coach. Get your sessions in today. Today we're going to be still talking about Doctor Doom. Last week we talked about the big event, One World Under Doom, and now we're going to talk about the best part of any big event, the spin-offs. There's been a few. We've got Storm, X Factor, and Weapon X-Men all came out. These are like series that exist that basically just kind of mention it. You can always tell if it's going to be having to do with Doom with this here label at the top of the comic. Storm, basically, she was just at Dr. Doom's residence. They were having a conversation. X Factor, they had to steal a gun from Dr. Doom. Like, I'm not sure how much of these will have to do with the main story. This one had nothing to do with the Dr. Doom. It's mentioned once.
Is that an Alex Ross cover?
Yes.
That's a cool looking cover.
Yeah, Alex Ross will be doing the covers for this new series now, Weapon X-Men. I gotta say, I actually enjoyed this one. I've been enjoying both of these series. It appears X Factor is coming to an end. Storm's been a lot of fun. I wouldn't say, like, if you haven't read them, like, you don't need to jump on board just because for the Doctor Doom stuff. But maybe check out Storm. That's pretty good. As far as Weapon X-Men goes, I enjoyed it. It was a fun. It's interesting. They're doing a lot of Wolverine and Deadpool stuff right now. They're in their own series, Deadpool, Wolverine. I enjoyed this one better. I think it works better because there's a full team. I'll be curious to see what the story is going forward. The further issues do not have this banner, so if you just collecting it just because you're collecting all the Doctor Doom stuff, you really only need this, and it'd be okay if you skip this one too.
What's that guy's? Now, I recognize 4 of those 5 guys. What's the name of the guy with the fire face? I forget his name.
I do too.
I know the others. Okay, you can move on.
I was like, Torch.
No,
it's not him.
No, I forget his name. He's cool though.
He didn't have a very big part in this series. Like I assume he'll be bigger in the future issues. Now the 2 spin-off series that are going to be mini-series that might be more connected to the whole series are, we have Doom Academy and Thunderbolts Doomstrike. Connor, were you familiar with Strange Academy?
Vaguely. That was a little post when I was reading like a lot of titles.
This is the characters. Doctor Strange was a Sorcerer Supreme. Now that Doctor Doom is a Sorcerer Supreme, Strange Academy has become Doom Academy. This was fine. Harry Potter-esque. It seems like it'd be more appealing to people who are familiar with Strange Academy, because it seems to be a lot of like, what's it going to be like this year? And I was like, I don't know what it was like last year. So I'm not sure if I'll continue this series. The one I did really enjoy was the Thunderbolts. Bucky is the main character. He's known as the Revolution now.
Okay.
He's not Winter Soldier. And what I liked about this is the first issue since Dr. Doom's takeover where he's done something evil. Bucky gets framed for it, but Dr. Doom really does remind us that he is a villain. It's not all free healthcare and education. There'll be some bad stuff too. And then this week, I have not read them yet, but the debut of Red Hulk, which will carry the One World Under Doom banner in more than just the one issue. Ross has been held prisoner by Dr. Doom. I imagine the series is about his escape. And then an issue...
Like Green Hulk to me. So, all right, this is a Green Hulk episode.
And then the series that I imagine will coincide with the One World Under Doom is Fantastic Four, which is also written by Ryan North, who's writing One World Under Doom, which I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed his writing for Fantastic Four. The first issue came out this week since Doom's taken over, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how that story continues. So, One World Under Doom is in full swing now.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any to really add on to. I mean, the new Ultimate Wolverine has been cool, but I don't know, it's still pretty early. Anyone got anything else? I love getting my thinking into genocide, Palestine, Congo, Sudan, and everywhere else. No, I don't want to buy viewers, you fucker. I get my viewers the old-fashioned way. I don't. Or sorry, I'm banning someone from my chat. Speaking of Marvel, I did finally finish, I guess you could call it rewatching some of the episodes I'm sure I hadn't seen before, but the old X-Men animated series, which was really fun. And now I'm on to the Fantastic Four animated series, which was made around the same time in the same universe essentially. And I just watched an episode that you can't get on Disney Plus because it opens with the Skrulls blowing up the Twin Towers.
Oops.
Oh, jeez.
And then also we watched. We might have to do another Monday night movie night roundup on here because we watched what we call Neo Ned this last week, which was.
I honestly haven't stopped thinking about it in like a way that's just like bafflement, pure bafflement of what we watched.
Didi,
I can't believe we watched it.
Here's some words about what this movie is about. Neo Ned stars Jeremy Renner as a neo-Nazi who like wears a swastika shirt most of the movie, and he at a mental hospital falls in love with a black woman played by Gabrielle Union who believes she is possessed by the spirit of Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it a true story?
what was that?
Is it a true story?
I don't think. I mean, it's true that it's a story. To quote Tommy Lee Jones,
Okay.
it's a movie. We're not making it up, but I think it was made up. And the craziest thing is the fact that it's played as if it were like a late '90s, early 2000s quirky indie movie. Like it sounds like you're about to hear some like Sufjan Stevens at any point, like Little Miss Sunshine or
like
something.
Zach Braff can't wait to soundtrack this shit. You know,
it takes place in the universe of Scrubs or something.
Yeah.
Or Garden State. Either way,
I know it's early. We're still in current awards season, but I feel like we have a front runner for next year's best Monday night movie.
I will say I've been working on the schedule for a lot of the year, and late around my birthday, I've got two around my birthday and one I'm saving for July 4th. But I've got 3 bangers that are going to be interesting. 3 epically bad movies that I'm going to be very interested in watching. Oh, and then there's another one. We might actually this might be the first year where we have one of our Christmas movies, because I have a Christmas movie lined up that's gonna fucking knock people's socks off. People are not gonna be able to believe what happens in it. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm glad this was a short one because our next episode's in 6 days. I believe 6 days. It might not be Wednesday. I'm not sure. But next week, it's the Oscars. We're doing our Oscars episode. I'm actually watching the ceremony for the first time in 15 years because Conan O'Brien.
Conan will do that.
King Conan. That's the only king we need in our lives.
I've literally thought for about 10 years that the way the Oscars would get me back is either A, Conan, or B, the Muppets. We'll do the Muppets next year, and I'll tune back in, or do Conan again, I guess, maybe. So it depends on if this is.
I don't know. I feel like Conan's gonna kill because Conan. He's also the nicest. The one thing about him, like his celebrity status, he's literally the nicest dude on the entire planet ever.
I could see him killing and him doing it for like a couple years in a row, potentially.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because he's
thinking.
Just. Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's probably like kind of an annoying, thankless job at the same time. So
I can also see him being like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
after like 2 or 3 years, he's probably just be like,
Yeah, but Conan's been through more shit than anybody. Like, he lived through the Jay Leno stuff. Like, I feel like if he would do something, it's because he wants to do it. So we don't hear from him. It's just because he didn't want to. But I feel like they would go around whatever he needs to make it a perfect show for him, because he's just that kind of guy that you want to have the best performance,
And Twin Peaks Club will be back in 3 weeks with parts 6 through 9, nice, of the return. I want to thank Bri here for composing our outro. Please follow us on Instagram at CinemaCurse666, on TikTok. They haven't. Donald Trump, thankfully restored TikTok, so I'm able to get out all my Russian propaganda, all my Chinese propaganda there. Smash that like button, like and subscribe, tell your friends, share this episode with your local hunter. That was an easy one. And I think that's it. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye.
Is it over? Is it still
Thanks a lot, everyone.
This is the end, Didi.
Did it end already, or is it still recording?
I'm about to end, and then I'll tell you when it stopped recording.
Okay,
Just say bye.
If it's still going, ask me. Say, hey, Didi, is there anything you want to add?
Hey, Didi, is there anything you want to add? You should have just interrupted me. Go ahead.
Well, say it again, and then I'll respond to you.
Hey, Didi, is there anything you want to add?
1 + 1.
I'm throwing up the outro screen now.
All right.
I'm muting you.